Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're reviewing Darksiders 3 for the Nintendo Switch. So without further ado, let's take a look at this review. Originally the game was released in November 2018 on other platforms, and it was finally released last week on September the 30th, 2021 for the Nintendo Switch. So the game is described as an action RPG rather than the hack and slash genre of games like the previous games before this one. Now, to give you a brief overview of the story, the game sees you control Fury. She's one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. The game takes place before the majority of Darksiders 1 and is set parallel to the events of Darksiders 2. Fury is given the task of hunting down the 7 deadly sins. And that's just a very quick overview of the story without too many spoilers. Moving on to gameplay. So the game departs from the gameplay of the first two, although there is a mode where you can set to play as similar to the first two games, but I've chosen to avoid that, to play this in the way that the developers chose to actually play this game. So, unlike large crowds or hordes of enemies from the first two games, there are fewer enemies, but they are much stronger. I'd really recommend practicing your dodge movement, because the game gets incredibly frustrating later on if you haven't mastered that. So take the first 20-30 minutes of the game, and every enemy that you come across, just really practice dodge all the time, because you will enjoy the game much more if you do that. There is a leveling system now as well, which obviously moves it from that just basic hack and slash into more of an action RPG. And these three leveling systems focus on your health, damage, and also arcane damage as well. So Fury, your character, collects souls from enemies and also from objects in the environment. And then you can use these souls to upgrade these three areas. It's also possible to get attachments to enhance your weapons as well. So there's a few ways you can actually improve your character throughout the game. All the footage you can see is taken from handheld mode, and also I'm reviewing the game solely from a handheld perspective as well. I haven't experienced any game-breaking faults. There have been a number of frame drops, and the loading pauses when entering a new area have been a bit frustrating. Although I must say the frame drops are much less noticeable in handheld mode on a smaller screen compared to the bigger screen. And there are a couple of times, as you can see from the footage, where the scenery is kind of popping in and popping out, which, I don't know, maybe they could do something about. I noticed that quite a lot. But it didn't necessarily take away from the enjoyment I had in playing the game. Let's just have a bit of a talk about the price. So for any physical collectors, there is a physical edition available, and it's priced at £35. That's not a bad price, but I do think for a game that, again, is approaching 3 years old, it's a lot cheaper on other consoles. Do we really need that Switch tax? Could we have maybe brought this down to 25 or at least under the £30 mark? I think that's where it's getting a little bit frustrating in terms of how much I enjoyed this game. If that was under £30, I'd have said yes, definitely go out there and buy it. Over 35 and £35, I think they could have probably set this a little bit lower. So to sum up, I think I have to say that this game does need some performance fixes, particularly those little loading screens that you just saw from the footage, that little few seconds of loading and then going again. If they can patch that, and they can maybe fix a few of the scenery drop-ins and drop-outs, I think that I would definitely recommend this game. If it goes in a sale under £25, I think you should snap their hands off and pick this game up, because it is a lot of fun. But at its current price of £35, and obviously with a few of those little areas that need tweaking, I'd maybe just give it a miss. Save your money for something else. and then look out for another big sale, and then I think you should pick this game up. I just want to say thanks a lot for watching, everyone. Now, I have got a terrible cold, so it has made pronouncing certain words and trying to make this review quite difficult, so thank you very much for sticking around. I'm going to be very busy over the next few weeks as we're having a baby on Monday, so I'm not sure what reviews I'm going to be putting out over the next couple of weeks, but hopefully I'll still get around to reviewing Metroid Dread, and I do have the new OLED Switch arriving, so hopefully I'll be able to put out some first impressions on that as well. But thanks a lot for watching, guys. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care, everyone.